It's
Go
my
ahead.
pleasure to have Mr. Ishwar Achanta as our guest today. Mr. Ishwar Achanta is a shipping magnate, an expert, an international golf administrator, council member of Indian Golf Union, and board member Asia Pacific Golf Federation. And that when I asked him how he would like to be known, that came his reply. Just as a human who has realized that life we live is not the life we ought to be living. It speaks volumes for the kind of person he is, isn't it? Thank you for being here, Ishwar. Thank you for your time. Over the last
Thank
couple
you,
of
Jesse.
years, you have been working hard to make golf in India inclusive for persons with disabilities. Do tell us about it.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse, for that very kind introduction. Um, I'm no magnate of any kind. I'm just an ordinary human being trying to do his best in the life that has been given to me. Uh, like all true Indians, one I never realized what it meant to live inside the mind of a person who's suffering or who has a misfortune of not being as able as I am. And it's only after I met Bharti and Janaki and then met you through them, I began to realize that there is more to life than what we actually live. And that's why I said to you what I did. So when they came to me and asked me how golf as a medium can be used to promote awareness of inclusivity, I quickly found out that there was no concept of inclusivity in the space of golf. Nobody, including me, knew what we had to do or how we had to do it and what it actually meant. So the first thing that I had to do was to make our national body, which is the Indian Golf Union, aware of the need to recognize inclusivity first, and then to draw plans and write a proper standard operating procedure on.
But what made you think of disabilities? What triggered the thought?
So I was invited by Jayashree, by you, Jayashree, and Janaki and Bharati to come and see your Cabin Care Ability Awards. And they promised me that my life will change if I came for one of them. And I can assure you that when I walked into that hall and I sat there and I watched these super achievers, watched these people achieve so much in their life, something that I can never do, being able as I am. I realized that there is the next phase of my life had to be about working towards making the game that I love so much, the game that I've been involved with so much, the game that's given me so much recognition and so much of happiness. I thought that I had to do something about it. So that's when I decided that the
I mean,
administrators of the game had to make a change, and that's why we did what we did in amending the articles of our association to include the word inclusivity. And that has gone down very well, even with government of India, because golf has never been seen as a game that involves people of that spectrum. So I think we made a very good start in doing that. We also did one better. I literally held the flag to become a member of the world's leading governing body for disability in golf. It's called the European Disabled Golf Association, EDGA. And despite the name European, there are close to 20 other global countries who are members. And in the Congress recently, we have decided to change the name from European Disabled to something to reflect a global name. So India is a member, and India will continue to learn from those best practices, those learnings, those teachings. And I hope that post COVID, we would be able to start actually delivering inclusive golf on the ground. We haven't been able to deliver anything so far. We've only made changes on paper, but that will give us enough ammunition now to go out and start delivering events. One of the things that I propose to do is to have a few slots reserved in our national events. We run 77 events in the country in a year. So we're looking to identify 15 or 20 of these events where there will be slots reserved for people with disabilities. Of course, the disabilities ranges are very different. So people with severe disabilities will not be able to compete with those with nominal or no disabilities. So we will classify them and give them an equal opportunity to compete.
No, I mean, we always think that it's not doing something, even though you are a person with disability, you do something despite your disability, you do something that you are good at and have the talent for. And having the talent for that, to give the person the opportunity to come forward and come up in life. You must have faced plenty of difficulties and challenges in your way of thinking in the golf world. What were some of the possibilities today to make this possible now?
Jesse, you're absolutely right. When I first broached this topic of inclusive golf in my council, there was deafening silence. And I could see what these guys were thinking, in their minds. This guy's gone off his head. What is he talking about? And I quickly realized that a mere statement of saying we have to do this is not enough. So I created a very powerful presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, and I brought in images, I brought in text, I brought in actions that other countries were doing. I brought in pictures of people who looked very normal, but who had severe disabilities and who are achieving more than what our own people were achieving. And I was able to convince them that there is beyond what is seen to the eye, there is so much beyond to that. And I'm happy to say that we have a girl called Diksha Dagar, who's a daughter of a colonel in the army. She's clinically deaf as per definition, and she became the leading Indian amateur. She wore Indian colors, played for India, and in the last year she has turned professional, and she is earning a reasonable, um, sum of money playing professional golf. I mean, these are stories that one doesn't have to go talk about. These are stories that one uses to make sure that there are so many more people of similar nature who are brought out and quietly, and I stress on the word quietly, made to play the game. Earlier, the thought would have been, how can we advertise this? Make capital out of it. And I realized that that's not what people want. They don't want to be made into some kind of a showpiece. They want normal acceptance. They want to be as normal as anybody else is and play the game in a very normal fashion. And that's a big learning for us, at least for me. And that's what we have started doing. We've started taking a census of how many people fit into certain categories of disability. And we're trying to see, we don't have that data right now in India. And we are working on this. You'll be surprised to know that even in the United States, the last census is something as late as far back as 2000. So this is it's not just in India, it's a common trait across the world where we simply brush it under the carpet and hide behind.
It's really amazing. We really need more and more people like you to promote inclusion, acceptance far and wide. At Ability Foundation, all I can say is we are very, very thrilled to be with you every step of the way. Anything that can be done, that's it. Going forward, whatever will be the next step,
Sure.
please do let me know. So it's been wonderful talking to you, Ishwar. Thank you very much. Any message you would like to say to our people here who are watching this? Any message that you have?
Yes, I do, Jayashree. I I call upon my fellow citizens, people who have God has given them more than they ever need in their lives. I call upon these people to take the plug out of their ears, take the shield out of their eyes, open their minds, open their hearts. I don't even want their emotion. I want them to open their minds. And I want them to join us and
Very
work
important.
towards doing what we should have been doing 30 years ago, not now, maybe more. And that's all I would appeal to. I would tell these people, get off that ego driven life that we live and get down to brass tacks and learn how to manage and how to adopt and how to embrace people who have less than we have, but who are doing more than we do. And that's the message I would like everyone watching this to try and take back and say, we need to do more.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayashree. Good luck to Ability Foundation and to all of you. And best wishes to my friends, Jayashree, Bharati, and Janaki. You guys rock. Without you, my life would have been completely ordinary and completely different. Thank you so much for opening my eyes.